Team Talk Podcast, episode 39. Myself, Samuel Law, got Coach with me today.
Yeah, what's going on, people? What's happening?
Yeah, Kev, what you saying, fam?
Yo, it's good.
Yeah, shout out to the listeners, shout out to the regular listeners, shout out to the first-time listeners. If you stumbled across the podcast, welcome. All right, so we'll talk about the most recent game. We just finished watching the Everton Tottenham game. 1-1, final result. You know what? Let's just talk about the talking points because it wasn't. Yeah, the game was a bit dry, but there were some big talking points in it. So the handball that because it was 1-1, and then it was 1-0 to Everton first. Dele Alli. No, 1-0 to Tottenham. Sorry, my scrambled. 1-0 to Tottenham. Dele Alli handballs it. First of all, Kev, are there inconsistencies with this VAR? Because to me, I've seen those handballs given.
I think there's definitely inconsistencies. I think the ball touched his hand in the box. He went up for a header. He decided to put his hand, in my opinion, cleverly in an unnatural position. It's not a natural position, and the ball's hit his hands. There's a reason why defenders put their hands behind their backs so that they don't get discredited. With they don't get.
Would you put your hand behind your back and jump?
No, I wouldn't put my hand behind my back, but I feel like you don't need to Superman in the air when you're gonna jump at the same time. You don't need to do like what Ali was doing. That was too far up in the air.
He was higher than Mina's.
No, he didn't jump high as me now, but he put his hand. He did a lazy one. He put
his hand went as high as his head. Mina jumped clearly higher than him, but he tried to. It's like he was equalizing the height, the height difference with his hand. So and then the ball strikes his hand, so it's a penalty. Next time, adjust the way you jump.
Spent 3 minutes on it.
Yeah, so they spent 3 minutes to make the decision. First of all, because you said something about how useful VAR should be, the process of it. Yeah. Explain that.
Okay, so my idea for VAR nowadays, I feel like the referee should stay in charge of the game. And if he isn't sure of something, then he should make the request. Basically, they all wear this watch that everyone sees. I feel like there should be a function. It's a smartwatch. You press it, you ask him for assistance, they review the situation, the play, or whatever has taken place, and then they give you that support when you need it. But in real time, if you're sure of something you've seen in real time, or you've used your common sense to the scenario, then you are the referee who's ref the game. If afterwards they turn around and say you got that horribly wrong, you go like, well, you know what? I felt on the pitch, I saw that clear, and this is why. He gives his reasons for why he didn't need to waste our time going to VAR. But then to go to VAR, because what's happening now is they're going to VAR, and I feel like they're not making the right decisions.
But what I feel like it's simple though. I feel like even if you pull VAR, I think you should just let the referee see it. That's all. If there's a decision and they say, I think there's something for you need to see.
Take time. So in a scenario where the referee look, you've blown the whistle, you feel like he's hit his hand. If he hasn't seen it, and there's the other argument can be, what if the referee hasn't seen it?
Yeah, but then that's what I'm saying. They should say, listen, I think you need to come and see this for yourself. And if you feel it's a handball, like you might have missed it. If you feel it's not a handball, we'll carry on. But if you feel, because we just feel you might have missed it, check it. If you think it's a handball, then reverse the call. I think that just cuts out everything.
Well, part of what you just said is correct. But in terms of VAR, when I did say it's when he's going to introduce, it's just going to be the same thing as when VAR weren't there. You're going to get some decisions for you, some decisions not. It's just the law of averages when it comes to football. But what I would say, what you said, I think is the best way in terms of VAR gets to see the replays quickly. So when the ball's out of play, they might go back to a replay up in the booth or whatever it is. They see a handball, ref, think you might want to go and watch this. We're going to put it on the screen, go over there and watch it. Now, to what Kev is saying as well, in terms of not time, I don't think time's the biggest thing. I think the influence of being in the stadium and watching it underneath the booth is the problem.
Because we saw at World Cup, they would go across, they'll check it at World Cup.
But that's the World Cup though.
Bigger pressure.
What I'm saying, if I'm Chinese and Ghana's playing against Nigeria, I mean, I'm going under the booth. I don't really care who's cheering for me or who's not. I'll just give my decision. I'm Chinese, so whether you win or lose, I don't care. I just want to give the right decision.
But
Now with these referees, yes, they will try and move them around because you don't know what team they support and all that sort of stuff. But they're going to be more influenced in the Premier League than they are going to be at something.
But what's the difference between going to check a video and making a call? Because they make calls anyway. The referee makes a call anyway, like, penalty. He could be at an away game and the fans are on him.
But this is what I'm saying. So, for instance, today he could have not given at first the penalty for Everton. I'm just saying if there was a penalty, he goes underneath the booth. Now the crowd is antsy. Now the crowd is getting this. These guys are not robots. They're also humans. So now even if it's a real tight 50-50, he'll probably end up giving it to the home side. It's just the natural, sometimes human way.
Not if it's clear and literally everyone can see on.
Clear is different. I'm talking about those decisions where literally you do need VAR. You do need someone that's not in the atmosphere. You do need someone that's separate from the where you are, and that's a qualified referee like you are, that will take a match day as well. At the end of the day, that's where I think that's why they're not allowing the referees on the pitch to go to the booth. Now I think FIFA said this week that is, I don't know if it's mandatory or something. They said anyone that's using VAR, you have to let the ref go to the TV. I don't know if that applies to the Premier League, but FIFA come out this week and said you have to go and use the monitors. That's
exactly. So it's coming. No, it's coming.
So I'm not sure what deal Premier League have with VAR or whatever. But
I think FIFA can only make it goes season by season. So if they want to implement a change, they can't do it in the middle of the season. They have to do it at the end of the season, new season. Then they could make the change, but just halfway through to say,
me personally, personally, I think VAR. Don't know if you guys agree. I think VAR it's been broadened too fast. If you get that. Like, say for instance, it should be certain decisions that whatever. If you miss a certain, like, say there shouldn't be like a needless foul on a breakaway or something like that brings the whole play back.
Yeah, they don't do that. They don't use VAR for that.
No, but what I'm saying is that they look at these little ticky-tack fouls that happen before an incident. Is it phase 1? Is it phase 2? All that. I think they should have introduced that next season when they had an experiment of this season. Like this season, VAR could have been used for offside goals. I mean, any goal, just check it. Offside. Penalty decisions, and just kind of leave at the critical ones, basically. If it's a penalty or if it's offside, whatever way is quite clear and whatnot. And then next season, during the summer, they can look at VAR, how it's worked for the first season, and then the second season, if you want to look into fouls and a build up.
But they're not using. They're only using build up play if it goes to a goal. They're not using VAR for like normal challenges. Like in other countries, we've seen. Did someone get sent off in? I think it was the Italian league. Oh, Fabregas got sent off for Roma. He made a challenge in the middle of the park, and the ref gave him a yellow. Then they checked it back, and he got a red instead. They're not doing that in the Premier League, I don't think.
But this is my thing. Even if they were doing that, why did he get the yellow?
Oh, Monaco. What am I saying?
What I'm saying, why did he even get the yellow? Fabregas.
I think maybe the referee thought it was a bad challenge, but then I think they checked it back and they said nah.
That's the whole point. That's where it broadens out a bit too much. Let the referee.
So our opinion is what? Your opinion is what, son?
My opinion is anything the ref misses, the guy upstairs calls him and tells him, listen, I think you need to check this for yourself. Yeah. If he does make a decision, I still feel maybe they need to check it and say no, but then that because any decision he makes, are they gonna say go back and see it for yourself?
I feel like the referee still just needs to referee the game. Before anything, first thing that was implemented was goal line technology, right? We had that cleared. If the ball's gone in or out, it's simple, and we got that one. That was step one. The next step was, okay, if Suarez has handballed the ball and stopped Jan scoring a goal for Ghana, in the World Cup as he did, and the referee didn't catch him. Wait, hold on. VAR turns around and says, he's handballed the ball. Send him off and give the penalty.
Yeah, but he did that though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, but he saw it. So if he didn't see it, that would have been, that's a positive eventuality, or let's say a penalty situation that he didn't see, or something like that.
What about, let me give you a situation. What about the disallowed goal for Arsenal? When they played, who they played the other day?
That was ridiculous. Crystal Palace.
The Chambers sort of kind of, did you see that goal?
They shouldn't have used VAR for that.
But this is my whole point, where it's been broadened so much yeah. But obviously they will say because it's a goal and whatnot. But I'm saying stuff, little ticky tack stuff like that. In terms of it's not.
Yeah, stuff
clear.
like that. They shouldn't say to ref, you need to see this.
It's not
Not
clear.
every goal then should
This
be.
is what I'm
It should
saying.
be, yeah.
Like the offsides and stuff like that. I think that needs to be checked or whatnot.
I come back to give the referee the power to decide when he wants to use it or not want to use it.
But you know, it's
down to him if he-
because I think also, as much as we saying empower the referees, I think they don't want that much power no more.
Of course they don't.
No, that's why the
But that's your job. Because otherwise, then let's have a robotic game. We play, and then the buzzer sounds, and then we know that it's penalty.
But that's where it's going to.
And then everyone looks at the big screen, then it says, "Oh no, red card."
Please, what you're saying, Kev? Please don't think that's fantasy. That's where we're going. We
Man already goes Tesco now quickly. Can't even get a customer service. Have to go to self checkout. So we're nearly there.
So so then in the end, you don't need the referee. You just play. Then you hear the buzzer. Then the game stops, and then
That's what it's going to.
Look at the screen.
Another talking point, man. First of all, wishes go back to Andre Gomez. It was a horrific horrific injury, rather, because I'm gonna say the challenge. Some people think was malicious because I didn't see the build up that Son got elbowed by Andre Gomez a couple minutes earlier. Yeah, I just saw the challenge. It looked like those challenges that you give someone and the defender or the player, jumps over your foot, but it looks like the momentum has gone into Aurier, and it was a mad injury. His leg was hanging off.
Well, it was definitely retaliation.
You reckon, yeah?
100%, because it was 2 minutes before that happened.
But did you see his reaction when it happened, though?
No, I see. Yeah, obviously, when you got a ton of players around Gomez saying that his ankle's off his leg and whatnot, and people are doing that, where obviously you're going to feel upset because I think he just went into, you gave me something,
back.
I'll give you something. I don't mean to break your leg. I didn't mean to.
Then let's not call that retaliation. Because
It is retaliation, but it's like someone punches you, punch them back. Retaliation.
If you say retaliation without explaining the context in which you're saying it's retaliation, then it sounds like he meant to do.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He's now accidentally elbowed Son first. 2 minutes later, Son
Accidentally broke his leg.
It's not accidentally broke his leg, but he's gone to foul him hard to take the yellow. Because if you watch it, when he fouled him, the referee's got the yellow in his hand. And he's just like, "Yo, okay, I know I deserve the yellow." But then when he looked over at the players next to Gomez, and they were putting their hands
waving them
and
over, yeah.
that's when he was like, "Oh, like I just went in for the little, let him know that I'm not a." Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not a phony. You can just elbow me by accident and stuff and get away with it. I just gave him a little tap on his ankle and whatever it is, and the next thing you know, he's broken his leg basically. So. But his ankle's disjointed. He's off.
How long?
He's off. He's just rule him out for the next year.
Shame,
For the next year. Just for the next year.
At least the next year. Because think of it. Look, we're seeing Achilles take 9 months, and that's a whole leg break. So they're gonna put screws and everything in that to put that back into place, and it's gonna heal, and it's gonna take a long time.
Yeah, man. Wishes got to him. So, did you catch the Palace vs Leicester game?
Yeah, of course. Because as a United fan, I feel like I find myself scouting the league and just seeing how many teams are just better than ours. So yeah, I watched it. I enjoyed the football.
I mean, I said in the group before the game, I think it was 10 minutes into the game when Leicester were just fizzing it about. I said to them, look, listen, Leicester's one of my favorite teams to watch right now.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's a few players. There's 2 or 3 players that if I could take them out of their side and put them in United side, just on a selfish thing.
Can I say something though to that? Because what you just said there, yeah, fair enough. But what I also said in the group was that every player in that Leicester team know what they're doing. So say a Jose Perez or someone that's in the Leicester team, yeah. I'm sure you wouldn't be clamouring for him at United. But in the Leicester team, he knows his role and he's doing it to a T and he's playing well. And that goes for the other players. And Didi, everyone literally off the ball and on the ball, they know what they're doing.
I wouldn't be clamoring for Jose Perez because I feel like we have better than a Jose Perez.
Exactly, yeah.
So I'm talking about in the positions where we can influence the game, in the areas where I feel like United struggle. See, okay, on the side, I enjoy what I feel like Brendan Rodgers got this job when for Leicester.
February, yeah.
He's had how many transfer windows?
We won then.
In one transfer window, he has brought players through who have adapted immediately. Immediately. There are players who've come into that team and have adapted immediately. Some he's given them a boost because Tielemans didn't come in the summer transfer window, did he?
No, and he didn't start well.
And he hasn't started well. But under Brendan Rodgers, there's been an improvement to his game.
100%.
So I don't want to give him the credit to say I don't want to make it seem as if. No, actually, I'm giving Brendan Rodgers the credit.
No, but that's what I'm saying. With the Rodgers thing, why I said that earlier about everyone knowing their role is a testament to Rodgers, is what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm saying a lot of these players are not really that world beaters, but what I mean is everyone in that team knows what they're doing. The system that Rodgers is playing, they all know what they're doing.
But there's some players, quite a few of those players who just have a greater technical ability already. See, Tielemans was a prodigy when he was a kid. Yeah. Everyone was talking about him. You see, I've got this thing where you either have a world-class attribute or you do many of the attributes well. Yeah? When I look at you as a player. So, Man United, we signed Daniel James. He has one outstanding quality that can kill any team on any day. It's pace, raw pace. How you stop it, you will struggle because if he in the right situation, he will leave you for dead. And that's just, it doesn't matter who you are, that's just how it goes. But then if that's not the case, you don't have one of those or abundant strength or technical ability. You get the ball, you're able to, control the ball first time or do something or see a pass. You have to have one of those. Now there's too many players in the United team who have zero ability to see the passes on the pitch or even play them. Because sometimes I see it, you can see their head position, you can see they've seen the player and they've just decided, I don't have that ability to make that pass, so I'm not going to do it.
So you're saying in Leicester, they got that, or what are you saying?
I'm saying in Leicester, they have that in abundance. Like they have Ndidi is a defensive midfielder who is able to generate the play as well.
And carry the
ball forward and run with it and do multiple things. 100%. I'd sell.
Would you buy Ndidi?
I'll buy.
Salman, would you buy Ndidi?
The reason it's so tough is because we've bought players that are better than Ndidi that haven't done it. So it's like.
Can I tell you why? Could I tell you why? Because for me now, if you're United, he understands the Premiership. The adaptation to the pace of the game, and that it's not that. And I feel like he's got the right attitude.
He's got the right attitude, but obviously I'm Nigerian. I've seen it for Nigeria as well. There's games that he hasn't been good. There's games, and even for Leicester, before Brendan Rodgers came in, there's games that he was hit and miss. Yeah. So I don't want more dead wood. That's why I took so long to answer that.
So with me, I feel like. Do you feel like the Nigerian football team is a balanced? Is a team where you go and there's a balance and
no.
I feel like it's a mess in a lot of African teams. So I would never take someone's form in those circumstances. There's a routine and there's a structure at Leicester. Now let's
structure. That's the word.
So if we because I've got this thing where listen, you can have your main targets. I see Manchester United with all the millions you've got at your disposal. Do you get players? Can you get players in the January transfer window of that top higher class tier? No. But can you get the next bracket who we should be able to get in January? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about United transfer window soon and obviously we'll talk about United. But coach, do you still feel Leicester or Man United are going to finish above Leicester? Because a couple of weeks back I asked you that and you said, yeah.
You asked me last week.
Yeah. Was it last week? Yeah, last week.
I still think they're going to finish above Leicester. I mean, the one big advantage that Leicester's got, they're just really focused on one game a week, which makes a big difference
Before you go on, is it based on, are you saying in the current team that United have assembled has the ability, because it'll be funny that I'm saying this because as we all know, it is very possible this stupid United side is possible to go through January and not buy a single player, and we'll be all. Some people will be shocked, and I'll be like, no, they got it in them. The Glazers will probably want to go out, so they're like, we're not spending no more money if we're on our way out. So that's what I'm trying to say. So you feel like the current United squad has the ability, pure ability. I don't care if it was Shankly or Ferguson back in charge of them, has the ability, just as players, has the ability to beat Leicester.
If you're talking about, if you're talking about in that aspect, I do feel United could finish above Leicester. But what we're watching and the systems and the style of players and everything, I'm not sure about that.
So, what was your original question?
Yeah, do you think Leicester?
I think yes.
So, are you impressed with this Leicester side?
Yeah, of course I'm impressed with Leicester. And once again, I still think the Leicester team that won the league is better than this team.
Go on.
But the reason why I feel that is because, once again, when that Leicester team was under pressure, when they were really in a title race, like January times, they were put under pressure in January when everyone's like, "Raw, these guys they're not fading away, you know," and they didn't fade away.
Yeah, they still had guys like Mahrez and that.
Winning the Premier League is not a joke. And you had those guys. This is what I'm saying. But this
team's gone.
But this is my whole point. This is why this overblown stuff about Leicester. If you're gonna overblow them, then compare them to the title-winning team, Leicester. This is what I'm trying to say. So you can't overblow.
That's not because no one's comparing the title. We're comparing Leicester to the teams in the league this season. So I'm saying compare. So look at Leicester this season.
Into the teams this season, yes, they're doing well. But I've always said, don't compare teams like Leicester to Man United. I don't care what style of play people are coming with. The reason why I'm saying that, there's a whole different pressure playing for Man United than it is for Leicester. If Leicester right now have their amazing start, what are they, third?
They're third now.
They're third. Yeah. If they drop to 13th by the time we have 38 games, what's anyone going to say about Brendan Rodgers? Are they going to say he's a failure? Are they going to say we should sack him? They're not going to say anything to him because there's no pressure at Leicester. So guess what? If you overachieve, great. If you achieve what we want you to do, great. Even if you underachieve, cool. You're still going to be there, Brendan Rodgers, at the end of the day. When you're playing for Man United, there's a certain level that you have to aspire to at the end of the day. And right now, we're going through that process to get to that level. I'm not one of those impatient United fans that want it now. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the refurb loan on Monday. I don't want the work done on Tuesday. And I don't want to refinance on Wednesday. That's not me. I'm not that sort of fan. I know what's going on. So when I'm talking about transfer windows and that, obviously we go to United.
We're talking about United now.
But in terms of Leicester, fantastic start so far. Brendan Rodgers has been known to play good football from all his teams that he's had and whatnot. But I just feel like they're not playing under any pressure. So they're playing with the shackles off. They're playing that Brendan Rodgers football, and they're doing well.
So wait.
That's his philosophy. They were 2-1 up and went for a third goal. Was it 2? What was the score? What was the score today?
2-0.
2-0, yeah. So they were 1-0 up, and they went for the second goal instead of not protecting that 1-goal lead. That's his philosophy.
I want to know why.
That's the reason why they scored 9 goals and equaled the record. Any other team, Jose Mourinho would have said, "It's 3-0, it's 4-0. Shut up, it's enough. We don't want to. We don't want to risk it." So Brendan Rodgers' philosophy, I feel, takes an impact. He plays expensive football. That's the way he plays. He decides to play his football, and so it's working out for him. Brendan Rodgers' last time he was in the Premiership, he challenged.
I want to know why you haven't said everything you said. Oh, they've got 1 game a week, no pressure. Why do you still think United will finish above Leicester then?
Because I just think they do. It's just my opinion. I'm just saying that people are just right now they're just flavour of the month.
Let me ask a series of questions. Does United have a better squad than Leicester's right now, ability wise?
Yes.
Player for player.
Yes.
I would say yes. I was just thinking about the midfield, but yes. If I look from back to front.
Okay.
I'm looking at midfield. I think Leicester's midfield is better.
Yeah, I do.
But on what we have right now.
I think a lot of.
Are you talking about when everyone's fit? Or are you talking about the right now, the players we've got right now?
You know, a lot of fans are short-sighted because forgetting Pogba.
But that's what I'm saying. I'll be talking about everyone's squad if they're all fit.
I'm talking about if everyone's fit. Yeah. So
okay, then our squad.
Our squad. Okay. I feel like we carry too many problems in too many areas at this moment in time. For the initial question of can United finish in front of Leicester with their momentum, with the amount of problems we have if people are saying, "Oh, Pogba's injured," which I believe, because I'm like, why would you want to feign injury? But and then we have to play our second string when there's people. Their bench is even looking stronger than our bench. When they need to bring players on, you're like, well, come on.
Leicester's in good form. There's nothing more I need to say about it.
So you're saying it's form
they're in
and
good form, but we will see if they can keep this form.
so you're saying it's form and exactly.
That's
Cool.
what I'm saying.
Man United. So United, another L, the 4th loss of the season in the league against Bournemouth away. Now, 3 away games on a trot, away wins. You're going into the game against Bournemouth like, you know what? Bournemouth over the years are a tricky side, but with the momentum, and Bournemouth hadn't scored a goal in a month. I think it was a month. You're thinking, cool United, let's get the 3 points, and once again, was it you, Kev, that said about the low block? Oh no, it was Tabs. Sorry, shout out Tabs. But because it's funny because Bournemouth usually come and play at expensive against United. The games I've seen when we go to Vitality Stadium, they play expensive football against us. So I thought it would be quite an open game. So that's why I thought United might have a chance. But it seems like they've done their homework.
Eddie Howe did his homework and realised you don't go and play expansive football against this United team with their counter-attacking ability, and they do not have any creatives. Exactly. So if you play that low block, there is nothing they're going to do to you.
I'll counter that. Where was the low block in the first 15 minutes of the match? Because Daniel James was getting in time and time after.
Martial's coming deep.
The problem was he put it on the plate for Pereira. Pereira's going with his left foot when he should be his right foot. Then he's put the ball over to Fred, who's going with his right foot when he should go with his left. So there was in the first 15 minutes,
2 chances.
We made too many mistakes up front for me. And then what gets exposed all the time, as you know in football, when a defender makes a mistake, it's a goal. It's a costly. But when a striker makes a mistake or the forwards, no one ever really goes on to that. I thought we will get into the final third easily, especially in the first half. We were getting into the final.
We started very well.
Yeah, Pereira was picking up the ball on the half turn in between the lines.
They had space.
But his final product was atrocious. Yeah. That's what it was. Any other person, but obviously he's just the best of a bad bunch. That's what Pereira is. And that's what we have to deal with right now.
What does that say? Because I said this as well. What does that say about Lingard right now? That Pereira, who's not even on form, is playing ahead of you. Because I think it's fair to say Fred, over the past couple of games, he's done well now with McTominay. Like, for what it is, he's done well with McTominay, yeah? So the player in front of them has the license because there's security behind him now. Like, so Lingard, how are you not playing in this team? It shows how off form he is.
Let me say, I feel like Lingard's best attributes to his game is energy, so a good engine, and he has scored since in his Man United career important goals. If you look deeper into his game, and that for that reason, and his heartstrings. So because of him scoring those important goals, which have excited me against the Arsenals and the Chelseas, and he scores important goals. Because of that form and the way he goes to England and he was scoring goals. You really break down his game. It's like, okay, you have the energy and do things, but when it's going bad, how does it go? What can you fall back on? What's that one thing you can fall back on? Some players is great passing ability. Some players is the way they read their player, and just tactically they always stay in position. I remember when Herrera was playing for us, and it was like he was having a bad time of things, but you can see the guy's always trying to do his reading of the game is quality. He might not make the challenge, but he just the tactical awareness of where to be on the pitch. You'd be like, he'll come through the other side of that, because the professionalism and the way he plays the game, there's no one that's not going to come through the other side of the way when you play the game in that way. With Lingard, first of all, it got to your head. The social media became too much. You're already opening Jay Ling's clothing line and all of this nonsense.
200k loss in the first year, they've said.
Yeah, and then loss.
And then you're doing, and then it was, what else? It was a bunch of, I think I heard another one, Be Yourself. He's got another line. Okay, I'll tell you. He's got another line called Be Yourself. And then he's got, he needed to trademark that stupid hand scoring thing that he does with the J and the L. He lost total focus of what
about his brand too much.
What feeds you? What is the reason you're at United? The era before yours, No nonsense. As everyone was breaking it down to you, you can't come and do that nonsense in the changing rooms. There's sergeants, lieutenants in that dressing room that won't give you the chance.
So does Lingard come out the other side then?
Does Lingard? I don't feel like I need to wait for Lingard to come out the other side. You're 20. You're in the prime. You're banging the prime. 26 or 27. 26 years old, going on 27, and you still have the impression to the whole country of being a kid. Like there are 20-year-olds and 19-year-olds who seem more mature than you.
Pereira's younger than him, and he's like, not about age, but Pereira's basically got his spot. He's gone down the ranks now.
Yeah, no, he has got it with Lingard. Kev hit the nail on the head. It's just the whole. He got sucked into social media. I think he's actually now 27, to be fair. And like Kev said, we still look at him as a kid. That's what it is. There's no leadership. Whereas you get to that age and whatnot. That's what I'm saying. You're all hanging around with Rashford and that. That's a different generation, you know. Rashford's only now turned 22.
Does he look up to him?
But this is what I'm saying. He looks up to Rashford. Well, so therefore that already shows you what's going on. The dynamic there between them two. Yeah, the culture, the dynamic is just it's crazy. But that's what I said, leading me into Solskjaer. That's what I feel when you give him time. He knows. Like the characters that you're talking about, that he came into the dressing with him, how important they're going to be. That's why I said slowly but surely he will know the players that he will need to blend the squad with bring Rashford along. And instead of relying on Rashford, bring him along. Instead of relying on Martial, can we bring them along with a couple more experienced players around? Because I don't think Solskjaer's going to be buying 18, 19-year-olds, this, that. I think he's already cut the age of the group already down, the average age of the group, where he needs the energy. And I think he'll top it up slowly but surely with the more experience. Like, let's see how Maguire, 26, prime. There might be another player, 26, prime. Do you get what I'm saying? Those sort of players that are getting to that maturing age.
But not there yet.
But not there yet, but young enough to give you that energy that he wants and stuff like that.
Because I remember you saying a couple months back, Solskjaer's not going to want proven players because he's not a big boy like that yet. They're not going to respect him.
They're not going to respect him.
Let me break something down to you. It's going to shock you. You know, Christian Eriksen and Jesse Lingard are the same age.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
I think Eriksen. Yeah.
What?
Eriksen,
No, someone's will listen to this and go, "What liar?" They will have to go and Google and check, because if you look at Eriksen and you look at Jesse Lingard, just the mannerisms and the seriousness, you're like, "What?" But okay, bar the small piece of bad form, which I feel like it helps. I'm not social. Please go and grab this guy whose contract expires in the summer and just grab him. Eriksen
doesn't want to go to Man United. He doesn't want to go to Man United.
And I wouldn't want him just because of that.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I don't want players anymore that are doing us a favour.
Real Madrid and all that sort of stuff. He thinks he's bigger than
turned us that. Yeah, he didn't want. And I'm tired of bringing players that are like, because I wanted Eriksen. I knew. Come on, old player, but I'm off the Eriksen train now because I know we can't keep on doing it. But you know what? With what you're saying,
what do we know? What do we know?
What do we know?
We don't know if he wants to go to United or not.
They already said that.
If he wanted to come United,
but they already said that in the summer. They already said that Man United was interested in him. He doesn't want to go.
Time when
he's got his heart set on Real Madrid.
What I heard was he made a promise to Levi saying he won't go to another Premiership team.
Hence, he doesn't want to come to United then. We're a Premiership team, so that's it.
So that's it then.
I want players like, look. Anyway,
to be honest with you, I feel like the recruitment is not. It's like recruitment. It's like sales. Sometimes there are things. Even if I meet a player, an Mbappe, and he's got his heart set on going to play for Barcelona. But Barcelona don't have the funds to afford him at that moment in time, or it doesn't just fit their system, so they don't go for him. And he's not too happy at the player where he was. Let's just put him in back in Monaco, because that makes the transfer a bit more easier for us to comprehend. Yeah. Then you turn around and I'll turn around and say, I don't care who you are. You guys are in business, you're in sales, like you contact them and you put in an offer that's too good for his agent, whether it's if you contact him through his agent, put that money on the table so his agent eats 10% normal than what you would usually do for the transfer fee. Do what you have to do, identify the players you want, your A bracket, your B bracket, your C bracket, and then go for them.
Okay, so this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what we've been doing since.
No,
Wait.
no, you're telling me to wait.
No, wait.
Hold on.
Because what you just said there was you paid, you put it off on the table that they can't refuse.
No. I did 3 brackets. I said A, B, and C.
No, with Ericsson, we're talking about Ericsson here. You're saying put it off on to the agent that they can't refuse. We've done this to top players.
And then I led on to the point of your A bracket, B bracket, and C bracket. So if Ericsson said no, then you'd have a next line of player that you would have.
But Kev, that's another problem there that Solskjaer has said. Solskjaer has already said we're not going for our B list. There's no B list here. This is what I'm saying. We're going for the players that we want. And guess what? This is what I'm saying. It's stupid, but when them B players don't play well, then you'll be saying, why didn't we go for this player, that player? There's one list that Solskjaer wants. And if he can't
Ericsson's
get
not on that list.
This is what I'm saying. If he doesn't get that's why he said the money's there. Guys, don't worry about it. You guys keep talking about the money.
If he doesn't get those players on that list, then we are subjected to the threads. And as good as a player McTominay is, he's developed, he's done well, yeah. He's developed, he's done well, but he's not what you would call. Will he have got his opportunity playing for Manchester City or Liverpool?
But he's a squad man, and Solskjaer knows he's a squad man.
And I like him.
But that's what I'm saying. Solskjaer knows he's a squad man. What I'm talking about is transfers with Solskjaer. What I'm talking about is this. He's got his list. Now, before you put in a bid or whatever it is, they've already spoke to these guys' agents. They've already spoke to these guys on the sides. Does he want to come to Man United? We want him. Would he like to come? Yes, he would like to come. Then the business starts moving. So when the transfer window opens, you do the business. That's how it works.
For me personally, I'm gonna say over the years, I've seen a pattern and it looks like a lot of players that have come and gone, or even might still be there, but it's like they feel like they're doing us a favour.
This is what
I don't want that anymore.
But how do you feel the free signings that he's done?
Even back to the Ericsson thing, I feel like it would be like.
But what I'm saying, how do you feel his 3 first signings have done in terms of attitude to the club?
100%.
How do you feel?
You're not listening to me. Well, that is clear. We said that last week and we all agreed. Yeah, so you're just adding to you're in the same agreement about the players that he bought and giving him time in another transfer window. That's not a problem here. My problem is if you identify the players that you want to go and buy, yeah, let's just say Sancho is a possibility, and they explain to you, you're not getting him in January, you're gonna have to wait till summer. But you know that you need someone to come in. Maybe that's not the area. Let's talk about midfield. We know we need a central midfielder. Because I'm gonna talk about players that I feel I'm 100%. I know we need better.
Talk about James Maddison. Just talk about James Maddison. Talk about James Maddison. Talk about James Maddison from Leicester.
Are not good enough. Yeah, McTominay and Fred, I feel aren't good enough, and they need help. I feel like I could work. McTominay can work if he had a better quality player next to him and Pogba. That would be okay for me. I feel like I'd have confidence watching that side play. With Fred, I feel like this guy needs to go because I feel like he's too puny. He makes poor decisions on the ball. So I don't like him at the club, and I don't feel like it's something you're going to change. I've had too many experiences of watching Kleberson, Jambas, and all these players. They never worked out for them, no matter how much time we gave them. So I don't feel like I need to be patient with someone like that. The one where I would have been I would have been patient, and I have been patient, is McTominay. And he's proven himself. I'm like, okay, you're good. You've turned from someone who I turned around and said, get him out of here, to, okay, he'll be a good squad player. I still can't see the ceiling of him going and turning into world class, but let's just see, because some people feel like he is going to. So, all right, well, let's see how it goes. But for now, I'm happy for him to be at the club, because if anything, he'll be a good squad player. Now, you go and assess the players you want, and you've got your top tier, and you can't. And first of all, you turn around and say, "Would you like to come?" They say yes, but I'd like 300,000 a week. You say, "Sorry, this is the maximum we'll give you." Okay, I'm not interested. Bye bye. Shut the door. It could be done. It could be done. You go to the next tier where you're like, okay, because there's only 4 or 5 top defensive midfielders you can go for. Then you go to the next tier down and go, okay, go to them, approach them. Man United, usually they're not already playing at a big club. So then Man United are coming in for you and asking you, listen, look at the squad. You're going to bubble here if Pogba comes back and you're playing alongside these players. Would you make that move? Or let's say Ndombele, the one that Tottenham signed in the summer. I didn't go in for him at all because I felt like maybe they felt the 60 million that Tottenham paid was far too much, which for the player and the role he's doing on the pitch, I agree. It's too much to play for a defensive midfielder who's not going to either create or score goals or DM. I feel like we need to go for the. We can't have had it to a situation where we didn't go for our best players, so we left ourselves to Fred and.
No, but that's what I'm. This is what
No,
I'm trying
no,
to.
what? This is what we left ourselves to.
We're not going to buy players and not.
But that's what we did.
No.
And Brendan Rodgers is coming to a club February, one transfer window, bang, he's doing it, and he's going to identify players. So what are we talking about here?
I think, like I said, you're just getting caught in the Leicester sauce, and then next.
There's
You
other examples of players who's got Wolves. The manager went in there.
What's happened to Wolves this season? What's happened to Wolves this season?
For the players he went in for what he did on the transfer of what they transferred, what they were able to do, and the resources he had available to him, he's done a far better job than most people. You can't tell me the Arsenal manager Emery has done a better job than the Wolves manager has for what the resources he had on his.
But this is what. But why the guys listen? It's not. Listen. It's not as simple as the way you guys talk about this manager's bought this players and look how well he's doing or whatever. There's no pressure like Wolves like that. There's no pressure at Leicester like that. When you're at Arsenal, when you're at prestigious clubs like Arsenal, Man United,
so who's the pressure
who are
you saying the pressure is on? The players or the manager?
Listen, both. It's both.
So who's letting them down?
What I'm saying, this is what I'm trying to say. If Leicester and Wolves players have a bad 6 weeks, no one's gonna get on their back like that. This is what I'm trying to say. If United and Arsenal players have a bad 6 weeks or a bad 4 weeks, guys are on your back. The pressure.
You're basically saying because of the potential of pressure, that's why the players play badly from the get-go.
But listen, that's what I've already said.
People said the pressure to the shirt.
Listen, I've already said that. That's why when Ollie's come in, he says, I want to get those Man United players who can play under the lights at Old Trafford, who can give you the 8s out of 10s every single week consistently. In terms of going back to the Bournemouth game and all that sort of stuff that we were originally talking about, Man United didn't surprise me in that game because this squad that we've got right now, they play to their competition, which is not a good squad. So, for example, if we've got Liverpool and everyone's saying you're getting 4s, you're getting 5s, you're going to get 6s, guess what happens? We raise our game because it's Liverpool. When we come back down to a Bournemouth or whoever, then we play to Bournemouth's level and stuff like that. That's where we're not a title contending squad like that. That's what Ollie's trying to fix slowly but surely. We're trying to get to that stage where we are a title contending team. So when we go to Bournemouth, we deal with Bournemouth. When we play against Liverpool, we're competitive against Liverpool. It's not up, down, down.
Wait. Let's talk about the potential Man United takeover. So it came out this week that I forgot the guy's name now.
Saudi guys,
one of the Saudi guys. They say it's already done, but a Saudi takeover. The Glazers have paid out of sold the club basically. What does this mean?
I mean, just means new owners, man. I mean, the good thing about the Saudi thing, I know a lot of people talking about, oh my days, look what's going on in Saudi Arabia, human rights and that. Listen, ain't no one in England, US, none of these countries can start talking about human rights and all that. Yeah, it might look on the surface that we're all free and able to do what we want, but they're the same way as the Saudi countries like that. They all work in partnership. So I don't want to hear nothing about, do you get what I'm saying? But the Saudi guys, the good thing about them coming in is that their number one priority ain't gonna be money. They already got money. Why do I need to keep tunneling money at Man United for? For what? We're gonna have money before Man United, after Man United, and during Man United. That's football clubs like that don't. For money is not us. The Glazers and that, they're completely different. They're not rich like that. They don't have money like the Saudis. Do you get what I'm saying? So tunneling money out of Man United is what they did. And don't forget, they bought Man United without their own money. That's what a lot of people don't get. So they're just getting profits and paying back the debt. Profits paying out the debt. But they ain't put none of their own money into the club. All of that is all the bank's money, what they bought the club with, and then they're taking the profits. Whereas Saudi, they're not going to care about the money. It's just, this is a little toy for us. Like we see what Man City are doing and blah, blah, blah.
So what does this mean for the club then, in terms of what will change?
No, it will be good for the club in terms of like, financially we'll be in there.
Financially meaning what?
Financially in terms of, everyone's biggest problem with the Glazers is they're taking money out of the club and not putting it into transfers. These guys won't be doing that.
United has spent $1 billion in however many years. So,
but if we all look,
what I'm trying to get at is, okay, let's just say the Saudi guys come in and say, listen, United, we're gonna give you extra 500 mil. My point is, if the infrastructure of the club doesn't change, we're still gonna have Woodward in charge. Then
This is where I don't think I think Woodward will go out.
that's what I'm asking you. What will change?
I think Woodward will go out with the Glazers personally, because I think the Saudi guys, they won't give a shit about Woodward. You ain't done nothing for us. We listen. You're chump change to us. We'll bring in our own football guys and whatever. Because they'll probably listen. The Saudi guys are probably looking at Man City's model.
Exactly.
That's what they're doing. And the thing about it as well, what they'll come and do. But what I'm saying,
Woodward's done well, you know.
if you say so.
Woodward's for what he should be concentrating in terms of what his roles and responsibilities.
the business side, he's done well.
He's done very well.
What about the
The
footballing
only problem is he didn't, as chief executive, he had the power to suggest the structure come into place where it's like, listen, our identification and scouting of players is poor because there's lower tier teams who are identifying better quality of players earlier than we are, and we keep getting the back end and always getting
The big names. That's what we're
what
getting.
it is
We're not
as
getting the
well-
rubbish. We're getting the big names.
But what it is as well, in terms of the Saudi guys, if they come in, they see, you know, Old Trafford, obviously, if you've been there, whatever, I've been there recently, and it's battered. It's battered. It's literally an old stadium. They will come in there and blow 50 mil to do up the stadium. Or go and blow or whatever. That's what they will just do.
Because that-
I get you.
Because what I'm saying is, but this is what I'm saying. They will look at it as look what Tottenham's done. Look what Man City's done, their new stadium. Plus, Man City's got a structure. That's the type of thing we want. Do you get what I'm saying? They will be, their chest will be out for, we're on this Man United thing. Whereas the Glazers, their chest is not out for Man United. They've got other ventures to think about. So they just take money out of the club. And that's the biggest thing. Saudis won't be taking money out of the, which I feel, because it doesn't make sense for them. They're already making money. So tunneling money out of the club and not investing it into players makes no sense whatsoever.
So you feel that if they come in, they're gonna get rid of Woodward and
I don't think they'll get rid of it. I think Woodward will just leave.
okay, but then they're gonna have a structure in place
They'll have to.
and an actual plan. Because right now it doesn't seem that United have a plan.
They clearly have a plan right now.
No. Now, obviously with the whole social thing, but I'm talking about over the years. When you're looking at City, you watch a documentary of Inside City when they have a plan of what they want to do.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll see if they have a plan in January. Simple as.
But this is what I'm saying. I don't know what's all this pressure about January. Like, we got Everton Vidic in January. What happened to them lot the next 6 months? They were atrocious. People wanted them out. And then what happened after that? They went on to be some of our best defenders we've ever had. So this is what I'm trying to say. This knee-jerk reaction that everyone does, into, January's coming up. I better see 3 or 4 players. I better see 2 or 3. It's not like that. You have to be realistic. The chunk of the work will be done in the summer. Now, if we go to next summer and we haven't bought no one in January, and then let's say, for example, we only got 2 players in summer, that's when I'm on. Like, okay, Solskjaer, listen, you've had from last summer to plan for the next summer. You didn't get no one in January and you only bought 2 players in the summer. I'm not having that.
You're on quantity then. You're on quantity. You said 2 players. If those 2 players are 2 top tier leaders, which I feel like is needed, like a centre midfielder, and a creative, that's it. You're done. 2 top quality players in this United team. They could carry the rest of them.
So you still have Ashley Young in the squad then. Have the top players, but still have guys like Ashley Young.
See, you said Ashley Young.
Is that you're saying?
See, you say Ashley Young. Yeah, I feel like this young kid Williams coming through. He's like, wow. Hold on a second. Do we really need a left back if this kid's gonna prove to be that good? Because we're gonna see through the rest of the season. But it's like a similar situation to Arsenal. Yeah, there are London us United fans, London United fans. We have a rivalry with them, and you look at them and you're like, hold on, they got Saka, they got Martinelli, and when you look at them and the development and the age and the way they play, you're like, do they need to buy players in that position? No, they know their problem areas. It's similar to us, it's midfield, it's their creatives. So they just need a solid defensive midfielder and one more creative, and you're done. Someone who's consistent, unlike Ozil. And so then they're done. The system, we're 2 clubs in a similar situation.
Yeah, you know what? We're on to Arsenal now. Let's talk about Arsenal now.
And we need to... Okay, go on.
Yeah, so Arsenal dropped points again at home. This time to Wolves. You know what? On paper, as an Arsenal fan, obviously there's no Arsenal fan here, but I'm sure you would, with the current, the way Arsenal have been playing recently, Wolves is not an easy game. You wouldn't expect Arsenal to be... It's not like they went into the game saying, 100% 3 points. I'm sure realistic Arsenal fans knew that it would be a tough game. But they drew anyway.
I don't see. I feel like you should expect Arsenal to win, and I feel like the reason why you don't expect them to win is because somewhere, somehow, a poor job has been done, and that's the similar point I'm making with United. Of course, you should expect Arsenal to rip Wolves apart.
When I said that, I meant looking at right now. Let's use common sense.
Yeah, in the series. Yeah, no, it's common sense. There's in the series of games. But if you're talking, okay, in the moment. But what has led to this position where a whole Arsenal is not able to put away a team like Wolves? What has led to that?
Do you think their team is good enough?
No, I think with Arsenal, they just can't defend. It's been like that for years, and I know a lot of Arsenal fans talking about I'm not gonna sell my soul to the devil and bring Mourinho in, but you might need a Mourinho right now.
But wait, can I say with the game yesterday? It was 1-0. Yeah, it wasn't like it was a defense issue. It was a defensive lapse in concentration, but they should have made two. They could have got two.
But this is the thing about Arsenal. It's a trend over the whole. You can't even see out 1-0s. You should be able to be experienced enough to do these things right now against Wolves and stuff like that. So for me, it's just Arsenal's always been forward, but when the other team's got the ball, only a few of us are defenders, and that's a poor mentality. Everyone's got to be a defender. That's why you either press or, like Kev was talking about with Bournemouth and stuff, you got a low block. You either do one of the two. At the end of the day, they don't press, they don't have no low block. So when they're out of possession, that's why teams can catch them so easily, because they don't defend from the front. Lacazette, Aubameyang, they still think like strikers when they don't have the ball. So it starts from there. Then you go into the midfield. Have they even got a midfield enforcer in there? Torreira, no. Guendouzi.
Xhaka was supposed to be that.
For me, Torreira's been off for the last year. So I don't. This Torreira.
Why wouldn't he be off when you're playing in one game and then the next game you're not?
Even before that. This whole Torreira, this is what I'm trying to say, clutching at straws. Torreira's a DM. Torreira, he might be a DM, but he's been playing poor for the last year, 18 out. That's what's been going on.
Arsenal fans that I know have wanted him in.
But what I'm saying, that's how bad the midfield is, where you're clamoring for someone like Torreira. Yeah? Saying that's your midfield enforcer, he should be playing DM, not good enough in the midfield. Yeah? Xhaka, we already know about Xhaka. Who else is in that midfield? They're all soft in there. Ceballos, they're all soft in there. So now, once again, do they even think defensively when they don't have the ball? No, they don't, because they just think about when they have the ball.
I feel like they're going through their LVG phase, where their style of play that Emery is adapting for the squad he has does not suit them in the first place. So even you're not even maximizing. If they're rubbish, you're not even maximizing the rubbish you have. Because you're not even maximizing the style, and you should be playing Guendouzi and Torreira straight up. It's what makes sense. And if you should look at it and go, you know what, I want to change it. Yeah. There's that thing about, sometimes you have to do what you have to do what you want to do. Now you have to look at that team and say it only makes sense to play those two midfielders and then play the creative and just play it out. And when you finish and get into position, because I feel like if you play it out in the right way, that's a top 4 team. With what they've already got,
top 4 team,
for what they've already got assembled. Afterwards, if you want to now go to the next level, then of course you might want to upgrade your Torreira or upgrade Guendouzi and make them have to fight for their position and do that. But he's not using that kind of logic, so that's why I'm like, nah.
Why did you say no when coach said you might have to get Mourinho in? You said nah.
Because I feel like if to be honest, even as a neutral, I feel like their culture of their club, they cannot take you see, Mourinho is the most selfish person in football I've ever. No, I said most selfish person. I would say person. I won't even say coach. I'll say most selfish person. From even the ads that he decides to do, I will tell you he's the most selfish person that I've ever seen in football.
That advert.
No. What sarcasm? The money spoke well enough that forget the morals. Let me just go and do it, like go and call myself the special one. Yeah. But you don't care about your image or nothing, because you actually come across like a prick anyway, and that's your whole thing. That's your gimmick.
So that's why he won't work at Arsenal.
I feel like the culture of the club doesn't fit in line with what they.
So can you tell me the difference between Allegri and Mourinho?
So I don't feel like Allegri's gonna last. and I don't feel like he's understood the culture. I feel like Allegri's got
Who would you get? Yeah.
Arsenal, who I feel like will be a perfect fit. I swear, I hope this never happens.
Rodgers.
Brendan Rodgers going there, I'll be pissed off. I'll start banging. I'll kick my door in if I saw that happen. That came in yellow bar on Sky Sports TV. I'd go nuts.
I think that's too soft.
You think it's soft?
I
feel like
I agree with Kevin here. I think Brendan Rodgers in Arsenal,
But this is what
and
I'm
it's
saying.
funny because it's ironic. When Brendan Rodgers was linked with them, Arsenal fans said, "Nope, I'm not on it."
Bruv, you say Brendan Rodgers now, yeah, but I'm talking about Arsenal being title challengers.
Liverpool nearly won the title.
I don't think that, because don't forget, all of you that keep talking about
Brendan
all of you.
Liverpool nearly won the title.
Listen, all of you
built a team to tackle to challenge for the league.
He nearly won a title with Suarez.
built a team to challenge for the league.
And they sacked him afterwards. Okay.
did the
And they
same.
sacked him afterwards.
Just did the
They
same.
sacked him afterwards. After decades of not being in a title race, he was in a title race and they still sacked him. So there, you sacked him.
So
They sacked him.
So
So what are you talking about this title race?
you're
thing you're
wearing
talking
black.
about?
So
No.
it doesn't matter whether you sacked him or
cool,
not.
okay, cool.
You
What I'm
decided.
saying,
You
my whole
decided
point,
to.
My whole point of why Rodgers is not a good fit for Arsenal, because all round is all soft.
And you reckon
All,
it is
it's
with
all
that
it's
good
all
Mourinho?
round all round is all soft, and I'll tell you why.
Go on.
In terms of when everyone talks about when everyone talks about Rodgers, they don't talk about his defending. They talk about his attacking. We know Arsenal have attacking players. Their thing is defending. They don't have no manager to come in and say, "Listen, this is how we defend."
Rodgers lost Maguire, bro, and they're doing well.
Watch this. You see the Leicester side that I saw today. Yeah, he's identified this Turkish centre back. What's his name? Sayoko or something
buy
like
him
that.
too.
Yeah, who should buy him?
You're gonna gas about him now, innit? So go on.
No, what do you mean?
He
No,
identified his
say your point.
So he's identified that player, and they've gone out, and he's worked straight away. So they've lost Maguire, and he's gone and got someone that's gone straight into pocket.
Rodgers ain't buying David Luiz.
Did he
better
buy?
than Twan
Did he buy? Did he buy? The right back who's doing amazing as well.
Pereira.
Yeah.
No, he didn't buy him. No, Pereira was there.
Okay, so you've got Pereira, the whole back line. I'm looking at it. Pereira, Evans. Who bought Evans?
No, Evans was there already.
And then the left back,
then Chilwell, yeah.
And then you go forward, and you've got Gray, who.
No, Gray don't start.
But Gray comes on. He's a good
You got
impact.
Ndidi in the middle. Gray's not.
Ndidi. You look at the team that he's putting together. Defensively, they're working. He's getting the results. There's a different way to attack.
I would say Brendan was.
City had a team that were playing a high line pressing, and you weren't getting like Barcelona.
weren't getting chances.
It's not
PK
about, it's a different
bust
way
there.
of defending. It's a different way of defending.
So this is what I'm trying to say. If Rodgers goes to Arsenal, I love it. I'll absolutely love it. I'll absolutely. There's no one getting raised up. There's no one doing this. There's no one doing that. If things are going wrong, he'll play the same way, and get sacked, and he'll bring the new manager in. What Arsenal need right now is a strong character to grab people by the collars and let them know when we don't have. No, but I'm not talking.
That's not what Jose Mourinho does. Jose Mourinho identifies the Inter Milan winger, the Croatian,
Perisic.
and then who now? Where is he? Now where is he? He's fallen off. That's my point. He was old. He was at the end of his prime, and you wanted him up to go and spend how much money on him, and then if he got that
Martial at the
opportunity, and then Martial's there's somewhere doing well, and then we're crying that why have we got this old guy? Look at Matic. Look at Matic. How long did he last for us?
He wants instant success.
Instant success.
It works, but it
Don't
doesn't
care.
work. Yeah.
If it blows up, he's like a bomb. Yeah, he's a bomb. He comes into your club. It's ticking. And then eventually.
So what happens?
You
if
go out the door, then kaboom. Your club is mess.
What happens if Arsenal finish above Leicester? What are you saying then? What now?
I don't think it will
What happens
happen.
to your theory then?
Kev said he doesn't think it will happen.
Okay, so I'm saying if it happens, what happens to your theory then? Rodgers is now out of the race for that manager's job because Emirates just finished above him. So what now?
We'll see.
Did they start on equal? Did they start on? You believe the Arsenal? Okay, so is the Arsenal and the Liverpool squads? Are they on the same? Arsenal and the Leicester, and are they on the same pegging in the beginning of the season? Would you say Arsenal should be ahead of Leicester, or Leicester should be ahead of Arsenal? When you look at it,
Arsenal should always be ahead of Leicester. So that's what I'm saying. The way everyone's gassing up Rodgers, and I would pick Rodgers if I was Arsenal. Okay, so what happens if Emery finishes above Rodgers? What then?
I don't understand the way you think. Where you're
What I'm saying
assessing
is that you're gassing someone so much that the crap manager finishes above the guy that you're gassing. So why am I going to get the guy that's finishing below me because he's had a little maybe one season wonder, this, that, and the other. Because he's had that in the Premiership, where Leicester's already had that one season wonder and won the league. Why am I now going to have a knee-jerk reaction to go and get him because he's flavour of the month?
Okay,
That's
so
what I'm saying. None of you
where
talk
did
about Rodgers
where was Moyes? What was Moyes doing with Everton before we went and grabbed
That
him?
was an Alex Ferguson appointment. You can't use Moyes. You can't
The
use
point
Moyes.
the point is Arsenal are a bigger club than Leicester. Leicester shouldn't. For most people, they would say at the beginning of the season, Leicester wouldn't be in the position that they should have been. So even if they finish underneath Arsenal, they've overperformed and he's used less resources. So they would automatically say, "Listen, this guy's done really well with
the resources he has." Yeah, I mean Emery's got Leicester next week, so it's gonna be interesting to see that. But quickly, before we head out and talk about boxing, title race. Man City, Liverpool next week. Let's keep it short and sweet. Who do you think wins that? Is that at Anfield? Someone check that.
Yeah, it's Anfield.
Who do you think wins that? Because 6 point gap between the top two right now.
I think Liverpool win, just based off being at home. The crowd's going to be up for it. I think they're also going to play without pressure. I think all the pressure's on Man City, to be fair. If Liverpool lose it, cool, they'll just say, listen, we're still 3 points ahead. Blah, blah, blah. We're still on the roll. We didn't expect to go unbeaten all season anyway. And City is a top side. But in terms of City, I think they'll have to push it. And at Anfield, you just leave yourself exposed. And I just think Liverpool will win it.
I feel like City will win. I feel like City will win that game. I feel like it'll be a close. I feel like it's gonna be entertaining, but I feel like for some reason I've just got a feeling City will do well. I feel like they've just got more tools, more players that can actually make the difference. If you're playing, if they need to break a defensive Liverpool side, they have the ability to do
Liverpool
that.
are not going to be defensive.
So if they're not going to be defensive, then
that Liverpool blitz.
There's no, and then you have to also look at the back line of both teams. You've got Fernandinho and Stones. Do you know what I'm saying? That can easily get exposed by the front, arguably the best front three right now, as a tandem. And then you've still got Virgil van Dijk and whoever's back there with him. So I'm even looking at that as well. And they'll probably get exposed back there. And then the intensity that Liverpool will be playing with as well. Like I said, at home, Anfield, they're going to play.
And they know they can go 9 points.
They can go 9 points ahead. And then to them, the worst case scenario is a draw, which you're still 6 points ahead or whatever it is, unless the other teams behind them win or whatever. But I think Liverpool win. Being on at home as well.
Are you saying who wins the title?
I mean, is it fair to say that if Liverpool go 9 points clear, they've won the title? Or is
Who did you say that was going to win? Who was your pick for the season? I said City as well. I think you said Liverpool.
No.
You also said City, yeah.
I'll never say Liverpool. I don't
So wait, I'm saying if Liverpool win and they go 9 points clear, what is it? Do you reckon City can still?
Yeah, they can still, man. We're still in. Listen, we ain't even reached December yet. If this match was in January, then I say that's a big win.
I think if you're asking me, my pick was City. It still is right now. If Liverpool win that game and they go 9 points clear, I feel like the era where you claw back a couple of defeats is gone. You've got to be squeaky for most of the season.
But you don't think in the Premier League now, more than ever, anyone can beat anyone or not? Liverpool nearly lost against Villa yesterday.
I look at the table and I see United and how far they are, and I go, in 2019-20 season, we don't pull this back. I look at it and go, we're just going to have to take it. And then hopefully we don't make Europe and then, like Coach was talking about, not having nothing to play for next season and just focusing on one thing, which is the domestic. Because I don't see us clawing at all that back. So I feel like if you're talking about if Liverpool get 9 points on City, I think it's over. Yeah, I feel like it's too close. They're too well matched, and they're just both relentless teams. I feel like they'll both go on huge runs, and they'll both be going up. But then maybe if they cut it down to 7 or 6. They're not going to cut it down to 3 and then equal them and then go over them. I feel like it'll be over if they take
very, very, very big deficit if It goes 9 points. But yeah, quickly, let's talk about the result of Kovalev and Canelo. Did anyone see any other outcome? Canelo beating him 11th round.
With me, I don't. After he got banned for catching the drugs and only had the 6 months, then came back for the Triple G fight and all that. I just don't. I don't have the same feeling for Canelo no more. At the end of the day, that's why.
What, you don't think he's the best, the pound for pound?
No. Once all that sort of stuff starts happening, and then I'm seeing that the media is basically sweeping it under the carpet and still lauding you as the pound for pound. I can't deal with it. Look at the guys he's just walking up two weight divisions and knocking guys out. I mean, it don't work like that. Do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't work like that. Just whatever special meat he's eating from Mexico and all that. That's what's in his system at the end of the day. So me, anytime I see Canelo's going up 2 weight divisions, I don't see it as oh my days, like, yo, this guy, he knows why he's going up 2 weight divisions because he's got enough juice inside of him to go up 2 weight divisions. Allegedly. No, listen, I'm allegedly for me, but I'm just saying, when it comes to boxing, you can't just move up in weight like that and start knocking man out like that. That's not how boxing works. At the end of 2 weight classes to light heavyweight, and you were just a few years ago you were just fighting at welterweight with Floyd and that. Now all of a sudden you're at light heavyweight, knocking guys out. Come on, man. Guys.
To carry that power 2 weight classes is brave. Nah, it's allegedly, man. But yeah, Kev, what do you think about the Canelo performance?
I feel like we're talking about it the same way, but the only thing, my difference is, I analysed it. I thought it was a mismatch from the beginning because I felt like the difference in the whole steroid thing is Canelo has reached the age where he is a man now. The strength was going to come anyway, which is why with this whole drugs thing, I'm like, I listen to the excuse. It sounds preposterous, but it could be true because the boy is strong and he was only getting stronger. He was filling up, he's growing into getting that man strength. So the strength, he's just, if he did take it, he was tapping into something that I feel that was going to come to him anyway. And
if you're taking it, it shouldn't be right.
He's not going to be taking it now though, is he? So he's not going to take, because the stringent test they'll be doing, he's not on steroids. He was, if he was on steroids, it was then, and he's not on steroids now. This is the true Canelo himself, who I always thought he was going to be anyway. If you ask me, do you think, 4 or 5 years ago, do you think Canelo's going to be able to go up to light heavyweight? I would have gone, yes. I feel like I would have told you, yeah, he will smash up the guys at super middle and go up to light heavy. I would have told you that. You can ask me about some of the young fighters now. I tell you, Errol Spence is going to be able to go to super middle. Yeah, he's a welterweight. He will be able to keep going up to super middle.
You reckon?
That's how he's a big welterweight and he's strong.
Yeah.
So if Errol Spence, by the time he finishes, I feel like Errol Spence could go all the way.
Because they're walking around weight as well. A lot of these guys, they're walking around weight is much higher.
So that's his normal. Once he just feels into that, yeah, he will be able to go up to about super middle. If I'm pushing it, maybe he'll be able to go. Because I feel like at the end of the day, Errol Spence, if he is able to fulfill his destiny, is the guy that's going to come and tell Canelo, no. I'm beating him. And that's the fight I don't know what's going to happen and I'm excited for. If they can finally get around, because the only other person maybe who could stop that is Terence Crawford. If that fight happens and then Terence fights him, then they'll probably might not go up in weight. But if he was to dispatch Terence Crawford, his next objective will be Canelo naturally.
That's a super fight if that happens.
They're 2 super fights. So it doesn't gauge my attention as much as it should because I feel like, I know who's going to win. It's just a question of how. It's similarly like I've been following the UFC lately. The Mexican fight who fought Diaz yesterday. Yeah. And I saw the image, I saw the highlights of the guy and the way he fights, and just the intensity, the rawness. Is like, this guy is, where McGregor was talking, you felt like it was entertainment, and he was just saying things to just shock you and amaze. This guy, when he's saying it, is like, he's got that Tyson aura.
Who's that? Diaz or Masvidal? Who is that?
Masvidal.
Oh, Masvidal.
When he's talking, it feels like, no, I actually want to hurt you. Like, you don't feel like he's entertaining you. He's even apologetic in the way he's saying it in a way. He's like, no, like, I'm a savage. I'm not even domesticated. I don't know when I'll be domesticated because I'm wild and there's no way. And then like that whole McGregor, that crash, I'm like, that's a joke. And that Diaz, I analysed that. I said, wow, this guy is a savage. This not even... Yeah, I'll watch the highlights because I wasn't going to stay up. But yeah, that was my feeling of it.
But yeah, man. Next week, like I said, it's going to be an interesting one because the 4:30 game is the Liverpool City game. So yeah, definitely lock in next week because it's going to be a big one. I can tell you that one. Yeah, till next week, guys. Peace and love. Thank you, guys. Nice one. Nice one. Nice one. Nice one. Nice one. Nice one. Nice one.